to you about some of the problems which are quite current in the world today about viruses, in particular the COVID-19 coronavirus. Yes, you may say, well, we've heard dozens of videos and things on this and YouTube, etc., and a lot of it's pretty tough information. What I want to talk to you about really is the history that Fragrant Earth has had over many years' experience of what we call mobile aromatherapy. Now, I don't think anybody should run away with the idea that aromatherapy has a solution to the present problems. However, we do have materials that can assist in problems related to this health concern. For many years, we've been using mobile aromatherapy for sleep, for relaxation. If you check our website, you'll find all that under Style Aroma. In fact, if you've ever had the privilege of travelling first class on British Airways, for example, you will have had our sleep spray in different guises. If you've travelled JAL or maybe even ANA, you will have used one of our products. So we have a good track record. Indeed, the basis of many of the products that Fragrant Earth sells in the Far East are related to the promotion of good bacteria or good germs. Certainly COVID-19 doesn't come under that heading. But I want to talk to you a little bit about it. The UK government has been very almost accurate, let's say, in telling us to wash our hands. 20 seconds is the accepted sort of figure. Soap does do a job, that's for sure. But also behind that soap sometimes, of course, comes the idea of sanitizing. Now, I'm all for people that are cautious in these gels and various things that you can get on the market. Most of them do work, obviously, have a claim, but to be effective, they have to be at least over 60% of alcohol, isopropanol, normally a synthetic alcohol, which is well known for its capacity to kill what we can loosely call germs, a variety of viruses, a variety of bacteria. The name that's often applied to that is rubbing oil. Fundamentally, you could argue that the more you have, the more effective it is, and that is true to a certain extent. The trouble with viruses is that they're tricky little I'm going to say something rude, but I'll leave it. They're tricky little creatures. They're sort of halfway things. They're not really even creatures, they're germs. So let's leave it at that. They really don't have enough time to die, let's put it that way. So often water is added to the isopropanol or rubbing alcohol to keep things sort of on the surface, because alcohol itself is very volatile. At Fragrant Earth, we've chosen to go another route. We're using 90% isopropanol, but adding into it a variety of essential oils. Now, those essential oils, the content of which can be found on many websites, research papers. Don't go for the pop-vox stuff. Look for the hard, the ones you may have to pay a few p for, or dollars or whatever it is over on the States, to get to look at the proper papers. There are certain essential oils which are clearly antiviral. Research has shown that. So we've added some of those into the isopropanol, which is 90%, by the way. What should you use such sanitizers for? Well, let's go back to what the government said. The government really is basically saying that keeping everything clean is fundamentally important. Forget the soap for the minute, clean. That's surfaces, handles, everything you can find in a domestic situation. You can use a mild bleach even to do that sort of job. Of course, there's many products on the market, and you probably have your favorite brand for cleaning. So let's start by saying clean all your surfaces. Now, once you've done that, you can sanitize. That's quite different. Here you're in the job of trying to kill things, kill the bugs. So use a sanitizer over those particularly vulnerable areas, things like light switches, handles, the things that you touch a lot, keyboards, telephones and things like that. So just you keep a sanitizer handy. Many brands on the market. Look out for the magic figures that you're really best over 70%. why do people then say, why did I intimate that sort of hand sanitizers, little gels and things are not so good? I think the answer is because we keep them too long, and the good is, if you like, the molecules in there, especially if they're in plastic, that's why we use, by the way, recyclable aluminium, they tend to migrate through the plastic, and sometimes some of the volatiles or preservatives or whatever goes with it. So there's the difference between cleaning and sanitizing or disinfecting, things like that. Keep that close in mind, because you can use that at home. Keep yourself safe if you've got relatives and other people visiting. When they come into our factory, everybody has to spray their hands, and you've got the odd person that doesn't like the smell or something. Well, it's a choice between keeping yourself safe or not liking the smell of something. We actually have 3 varieties. The one I like best is actually lime, because it's got that nice sharp taste to it. We need to know a little bit more about these viruses. Coronavirus were only looked at seriously since about 1960. So they're not that new, but we don't have that much experience. Now, you will have heard of SARS, you will have heard of MERS, names like that, which are short for the sort of syndromes they have, like MERS is Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome and so on. Coronavirus has only got so far to COVID-19. That's what I read. So they have names. It's all to do with the ability of viruses to adapt. They can adapt to most things. The problem with the ones we're looking at with these coronaviruses, they seem to have originated in animals. It's very unusual for an animal germ to be transmitted to humans. These seem to be learning the knack or the trick. Government says quite rightly, keep away from social environments or too close to people. Why? Because it's, as far as we can see, spread by droplets. That means that people are coughing, sneezing, or even breathing. Of course, what happens is it lands on our clothes. What do? Without thinking, we touch something or a handle, and it's in the mouth, or even in the eye or on the face, something like that. So not so good. So many years ago, as I said, we started to develop these mobile aromatherapy sprays. Now, I travel a lot abroad, the usual airplanes, trains, etc., cramped seats, and you wonder who's been there before you when you put the seat buckle on. So I keep something handy. Now, I'm just going to turn away from the camera and I'll show you what I do. This little guy is called Combatir, and it's part of the Stylaroma range. Now, Combatir is interesting because, again, you go back to the isopropanol, but the basis of it is quite different. It's a bit softer, so although it doesn't have the maximum that we have in the 90%, but we're still in the high percentage area. What you do with this is you create your own little microclimate. Now, it's big enough to pop in your purse, your handbag, your pocket, wherever, and keep it handy when you travel. You can use it to sanitize. You can use it to sanitize by spraying bits and pieces, that tray was used by somebody else before I got on the airline, I'm going to do that, fine. You can also use it on your hands if necessary, when you're traveling. You can't find soap everywhere and so on, so you can use it like that. Now, whenever you use a sanitizer, I want to emphasize you should rub your hands, wipe your hands like that, okay? That helps it maintain and stay on the system and get where it should be, just as though you'd wash your hands. However, with this little guy, it's slightly different. I create a microclimate around myself like that. Spray it not onto me, I don't like it in my eyes, it will sting, but you shouldn't spray it there. Spray it on your chin if you like, and within seconds, you will find that you can feel it, taste it. Difficult to say really, but immediately you have this healthy feel, healthy smell And what you've really done is you've created this microclimate of essential oils which will gradually evaporate over a 2-hour period, something like that. So once you've got that around you, of course, it goes into your mucus, which is your sort of defense, part of your defense system, and it's hanging there, that phrase, supporting your immune system, because I can tell you viruses do not like what is now around me. It's got a pleasant smell, but you may also find that people keep their distance as well, because it's not exactly perfume. It certainly smells like that stronger essential oil feel. Just want to make a last comment on the immune system. The immune system is just that. It's a system, it's not one thing or another. By using that phrase supporting, it's supporting it just to sanitize it, supporting it by washing your hands. Because every day, all the time, germs of various sorts, shapes and diseases are dropping on us, and normally we overcome them without a problem. So take sensible precautions, listen to the instructions that are given, vulnerable age groups in particular. But if you read the press, most of the deaths that have been caused have come through secondary infections, etc. A lot of that is to do with the cleanliness, keeping clean, and so on. So anyway, so you've got 2 good items there from Fragrant Earth. Have a look on the website and see if something there suits you. That is rubbing alcohol. It's simply called rubbing alcohol. No making up nonsensical names on that one. Combatir, well, what it says is like volunteer, like bombardier, grenadier. It combats, and it's basically there to combat those germs that you can't see. So travel safe, keep well. Thank you for listening.